Hello everybody, welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Today I have a pretty freaking ambitious show, I will tell you. It is beyond anything else that I've ever done. I'll be doing kind of a charity event just because I have this platform. I have grown it immensely in the last month. Thank goodness, it's incredible. And because of that, I've got this reach. And with that reach, I want to try to do something good. It's getting, it's November 2nd, and it's Diabetes Awareness Month. Seemed to make a lot of sense. And more so, I wanted to kind of be in the spirit of the, the seasons and the end of the year, the giving, the kindness, all that stuff. And because of that, I wanted to do a stream to help to support a charity that I believe in. In the description of this video, you will see a link. In that link is a page to donate to Beyond Type 1, which is a charity that helps to support type 1 diabetes. Now, why this charity, right? Why not like puppies or I don't know, endangered bald eagles, or I don't know, whatever people donate to. The reason I'm going specifically for type 1 diabetes is, I've got a friend who has type 1, my niece has type 1, I know a few other people who have type 2, and I know some others that have type 1 as well. Long story short, diabetes sucks. And just seeing what these people have to go through just to manage their day-to-day is awful. And, although most of them manage it with a relative nice, they don't, it's not that much of a big deal. It seems, like it's a pain, but it's not, put it this way. When I see somebody talk about how they're managing their diabetes, it's like a million things that they do every day, but they always seem to be totally fine with it. It doesn't seem like a big deal to them. And that's kind of what type 1 diabetes teaches people to be. Basically, they help people to get information about how to manage their diabetes, and they help fund research. Just basically everything diabetes is what this charity does. So that's why I'm doing this tonight. So let's just kind of give an overall cheers to anybody who chooses to donate tonight, because you are all awesome. Cheers. Nose on this is very good. I'm pretty sure I gave this a buy it. I also have some giveaways tonight, and basically I have a giveaway. I'm going to just talk about these because I'll probably end up doing this several times tonight. So I have kind of the pièce de la résistance, or however you say that. This is a whiskey advent calendar that was donated for this stream by the Really Good Whiskey Company. And there are 24 drams in here, and it's kind of, leading up to... I'm so confused. All right, it's leading up to Christmas, right? It's an advent calendar. So the 24 days before Christmas, you have a different dram every night. And whoever donates the most tonight will get that sent to them. I'll send it along, within the next couple days or so. So keep that in mind when making your pledges. I have a few other things. Those of you that know my whiskey coins, or challenge coins, which I will bring over here. And yes, I keep them in a tackle box. That was a power tip from the Scotch test dummies. They actually fit perfectly. So these are challenge coins. I'm sure most of you are familiar. They are based off of a military tradition where basically each platoon or squadron or whatever grouping that you are in will make challenge coins based off of their insignias. And when you go to a bar, basically a military bar, you sit down and, if somebody presents a challenge coin, you need to be able to pull yours out as well. If you can't, then you have to buy that person a drink. If you both can come up with them, then a third party can decide whoever's looks the coolest, and that person basically gets a free drink from the other person. So, needless to say, if you buy my whiskey coins, or if you get one of my whiskey coins, you will have the coolest. So they say I heart bookers on the back, because I do. And so will you if you ever try it. So I'll be giving out a few of those tonight. I'm not sure how many, but we'll see what the night brings. Let's see, what's next? Hello, Nebraska. Matthew, that's funny. So he's from England, so he's obviously an alcoholic. That being said, you're probably more apt to drink whiskey because your beer sucks. I have a glass from Ardbeg, which I will also send along to... haven't quite decided how I'm going to justify or pick who gets this one. But in general, donating is probably going to get you something in one way, shape, or form at a certain tier. Anyway, so this is a pretty cool thing. So it's an Ardbeg. It's just a freaking gigantic glass. I don't know if you guys can see that. Huge. And I got this the other day from Ardbeg for the stream as well. Hope that is not super wrinkly on the microphone. I'm sure it is. Eric Waits, have you beat gold with a bald man silhouette? Yeah, I know. I actually have one of his coins. They're very, very cool. All right, let's... I'm a Marine. We are the best drinkers known to man. I think I could probably stand up to you. Not all of the Marines. Oh, yes. All right, so I asked for some questions and had some people submit some stuff. So I'm going to start off with one of the most obvious that a lot of the longer-term viewers will know. What do I do for a living? Well, I'm in software. I actually just got my newest promotion about a week and a day ago, last Thursday. I'm now a director of development, which means that I manage, or should be managing managers who manage software engineers. So I'm 3 levels up now. And I have an office in San Diego and one in Massachusetts and one over in India. So that is what I do for a living. I'll spare you the gory details, but that's basically it. I'm not drinking any Ardbeg quite yet. I will absolutely end up there, and I also have some Lafroig as well. You know what? I'm going to drink one for myself right now, because actually no, I take that back. I will also drink one for myself, but it's going to be a different one, because there's one I've had my eye on. So since Robert has already donated to the stream, I am going to drink one of the Iron Root ones. I have not opened any of these bottles yet, because... as I said, I have not done the reviews yet. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Which one would you like me to do? Let's see. There is and actually, Robert, if you have a suggestion, I would be all about it. So there's the Iron Root Promethean. There is the Iron Root Harbinger. Freaking awesome names. And then some more Iron Root Harbinger. That one's the bourbon. This one's the... Hold on. These are definitely different. I think one is a higher proof or something. Yes, this one's 115 proof. This one is 90 proof. Okay. So this one is 2018 edition, non-chill filtered, 27 months aged, 115 proof. And then this one is 90 proof. Straight bourbon whiskey. Okay, that's why. Okay. The different bottlings were throwing me off. I knew there was something special about it. All right, so Robert, of course, you're suggesting the high proof one. Thank you very much, Robert. I appreciate that. All right. So, Robert wants me to drink the Harbinger 115 proof because apparently he wants this this thing to start off right. All right, just to prove that I haven't had any of this yet. All right. Let's see. Let's see what the pop sounds like. Hold on. Here we go. Either way, they are brothers. So one of them is the head distiller, and he told me something that I've never heard before. And I told him that he needs to coin the phrase right now because people already love the concept of monkey shoulder. So he said that he will spend his day smelling so much whiskey with his nose in the glass that he actually will get a callus on the bridge of his nose. I told him he needs to come up with an awesome term for that, and he needs to coin that immediately. And maybe even, honestly, if you named a bottle, I bet that would do very well, as long as the name was pretty good. So it's in Denison, North Texas. Long night start with the high proof. Yeah, thanks. Typically do real reviews on live streams. It's just not the right setting for me personally to kind of nose and smell and taste and appreciate and all that stuff, but non-GMO, anti-science. Non-GMO is more earthy. GMO corns are much sweeter. Interesting. That's actually very interesting, Robert. I didn't really think about it that way. I guess that's why it's good to have people who know what the heck they're talking about in the stream. Some of the names that have been coming through for that little callus on the nose are pretty funny. There's Noser's Bridge, which personally I think that's one of my favorites so far. But Drinker's Snout has made me laugh more than the other ones. Anyway, that's pretty funny. All right, everybody. So not only did I do a million things, I also got the chat working again. So this is Molly. So,
hello.
So Molly, as I told you guys earlier, she's joining us from Hugging the Cactus, which is a type 1 diabetes themed blog. Molly, do you want to tell us a little bit about your blog?
Yeah, so the reason why I started a diabetes blog, it kind of goes back to when I was first diagnosed, which was almost 21 years ago. So my diabetes is almost legal to drink. It's kind of a joke in the diabetes community. But so 21 years ago, I was 4 years old. It was Christmas Eve. I don't remember much from it, thankfully, but my parents recognized the signs. I have 2 other type 1 family members. So I was brought into the hospital and diagnosed, and I've grown up with diabetes ever since then. I was not always comfortable talking about it. I did not like the idea of having other type 1 friends. I figured I just have my mom and my aunt who are both type 1s. Those are the only resources I need in my life. But then that all sort of changed when I got to college, and I realized that I had to be more of an adult and take care of my own diabetes without relying so much on them. So that's when I discovered the College Diabetes Network, which is a nonprofit. There are different chapters at various colleges all across the country. And through them, I kind of found peers who have diabetes, which proved to be very helpful through both emotional support and also just people who understand what it's like to have diabetes and to do that transition. So I felt a little bit less alone in that regard. And through the College Diabetes Network, that's when I started blogging for asweetlife.org, which is a diabetes magazine. Blogged for them for a few years and decided that I was ready to do my own blog. So I've been doing Hugging the Cactus for just over a year. Wow. And it's been a lot of fun, learning a lot, but I enjoy it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny. I knew that she was doing this blog for a long time, and I only just started reading it recently. And Molly is a writer at the company that we both work at. She's in the editorial department. And it's funny because I didn't really realize that she's as good of a writer as she is. So
thanks.
Which, by the way, people think that that I handed you the shirt and just was like, quick, put this on.
No, I had this previously.
So
I'm a fan.
So before we get any more into anything, I think it's very, very important that we address the point at hand and get a drink in your hand.
Yeah.
So there's 1.5 million different whiskeys over there, and with knowing very little about what you're choosing,
Jeez.
I think this will be a fun experiment. Actually, if nothing else, just to test marketing. So the one thing I will say is don't pick one of the ones with the big R's, only because we've already drank those and kind of talked about them for a little bit.
So can I choose something that I have had before?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Darn.
So feel free, get up, take a look, take your time. Let's see. So what's my...
This is important.
So people like your title, by the way.
Hugging the Cactus. Yeah, I thought...
That's a good choice.
See, this bottle just kind of stood out to me. It's nice and cute and small, so...
So she picked the Jefferson's Ocean Voyage 13. So that's
go.
a very good... That's about $100 bottle. So,
whoa.
So very good choice. All right. So let's pour you a little drink.
Going for the expensive stuff right off the bat.
Exactly. If you guys have any questions, or if anybody in the chat here has diabetes and is curious about ways that they can kind of help themselves to manage both their alcohol intake and their diabetes, then Molly's the right person to ask, because Molly can throw them back.
Thanks.
So, all right, Molly. So cheers to you.
Cheers.
So what we do first is you just kind of put it close to your nose, and you don't inhale super deep because I believe this is over 100. This is 90 proof. So if you inhale too deep, you might get a little bit of a burn in your nose. So you want to try to avoid that. Think of it like chemistry class where you were wafting. Yes.
Oh God, I did not like chemistry.
Neither did I. Neither did the C- that I got.
Oh
so,
yeah.
Poor. Anyway, so you kind of smell it. You see if there's anything that you can pick out. Even if it's very rudimentary, even if you're just like, it smells sweet or it smells something, like that's still good.
Okay.
I'm not expecting you to say it smells like a birthday cake on my 17th birthday, something like that.
What if I say it smells like Disney World?
I would expect you to explain.
Okay.
So, all right. So give it a little nose. And if you keep your mouth open while you nose, you might actually pick up a little bit more too.
Oh wow!
Especially if it's a higher ABV. That's what that's.
This is a process.
It is. It's. We like to be a little obnoxious about our whiskey tasting.
Oh yes, let me swirl the whiskey.
Indeed.
I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is like spices.
Spices, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a very vague comment.
That's
but...
okay. Vague is fine. So actually, one of the more common things that you will get out of a bourbon is baking spices. Is like that's what they say. It's not normally like you'll have people say like cumin or nutmeg or cloves, but sometimes you'll.
For some reason, cinnamon. It was something that I thought of, so I guess that makes sense.
Cinnamon is super common in bourbons, so that's probably a very good thing. And I can tell you just from nosing this myself, there is absolutely cinnamon on the nose. So good job.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. There's. What do you think of the finish on that? The second half of the drink.
Honestly, smoother than I thought it would be.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. For me, the second half of this is actually, you're right, it is smoother than the initial. But
the initial, I was kind of like, whoa.
For me, the second half of this is less pleasant than the initial. So like when I first get this, it's a little bit sweet, which is very nice. It's got a little bit of that clove taste to it. Yeah. But then it's almost, I hate to say it, but it almost tastes a little bit like a skunky beer to me. I know it's not great. There's a reason I bought this, and then I was like, I don't want to review this yet because I felt like I needed to let it breathe a little bit. That's part of the reason it's missing about a quarter of it. I shared it with a few people, and then I figured I'd let it sit for a few months. Anyway, take another sip, see if there's anything in particular that you're getting out of this. Okay. And actually, one thing that you might want to do. So this is as high maintenance as it seems. Just a water droplet. Put like 2 or 3 drops in there because being 90 proof, that'll dilute it down to probably about like 83, 82, somewhere in there, maybe a little higher. And that will get rid of a little bit of the alcohol that you'll taste and help bring out some of the flavors as well.
Okay.
Do you find some liquors spike your blood sugar more than others?
Oh, that's a great question. So yes, that's one of the reasons why I do have to be really careful whenever I am drinking alcohol. I make very deliberate choices as a result of that. So just to kind of run through the list, beer obviously has carbs, a lot of carbs. If you're going with something a little bit lighter, like a Coors Light or a Bud Light, aka beer flavored water, then that's probably going to be about 2 to 3 carbs, which is pretty light. But again, that's still carbs, and that's going to affect my blood sugar. So as you can imagine, if you go into a stronger beer like craft beers that they have out there, those can be 10 to 15 carbs in a bottle. So if you have 2 or 3 of those throughout the night or even more, then that very quickly adds up. So I do like to drink beer, but I try to avoid, going overboard with that.
Okay.
But with liquor, harder alcohol, rum, vodka, whiskey, those are a little bit safer to drink. Some people are surprised to find out that rum doesn't affect me as much because when people hear rum, they think sugar.
Right.
But it's really the things that you mix with these alcohols that you have to be careful about.
Makes sense.
So if you say I was to order a rum and Coke, that wouldn't be the smartest decision on my part because that could be up to 30 carbs. Wow. Who knows? I'm just kind of eyeballing it at that point. So if I was to have a rum, I would definitely get it with a Diet Coke instead, and that definitely cuts it down. So it's just a matter of kind of doing your research beforehand, knowing the carbohydrate content, and then from there you can enjoy your alcohol.
Cool. Nice. A friend who has diabetes, what warning signs should I look for when I'm drinking with him? Greetings from Finland. Keep up the great work.
That is an awesome question. I'm
going to grab some water while you're doing that.
Yeah, no, I love that question because what's interesting about drinking and diabetes is that when someone's drunk, that can look very similar to a hypoglycemic or low blood sugar event. So, if you see a drunk person, they might be slurring their words, not making much sense, a little bit out of their minds. Those are unfortunately all the same signs that happen when someone has a low blood sugar. So what I would advise anyone with type 1 diabetes to do is to always tell the people that you're with that you have type 1. And, in the events that this should happen, they need to get you food. They don't need you to sober up, although that might help.
Mm-hmm.
But
you
need to get food in your system. So I just think that it's important to just be aware. Don't be shy about your diabetes, especially in a drinking situation. Make sure your group knows. It's honestly, I've had my friends save my butt a few times. So always just tell the people that you're with, just in case. You never know.
That makes sense. I mean, your friends are going to take care of you either way. But
yes.
if you look like you're drunk and they ask you if you need food, do you think as a diabetic that you would understand that that's what you needed? Like, would you be able to answer them realistically?
I think I would get what they were trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
If I were the friends in that situation, I would say, hey, you need to check your blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your meter? And to that person, the diabetic, they would probably have the meter in their bag or in their pocket, something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that right there, just checking the blood sugar, getting the confirmation that the low is actually happening is going to be really helpful. And when I say low blood sugar, that would be, honestly, when drinking, I would be a little bit worried about anything 70 milligrams per, I think it's per deciliter.
Okay.
That's just remember 70.
Yes.
Anything below 70 is just, okay, eat something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that makes a little bit more sense. So I follow Molly on Instagram, and sometimes when she's having a low day, she'll put a picture of it, and it means nothing to me. She'll put a 50 up there, and she's like freaking out, and I'm just like, 50. That's like I have no concept. So I would assume obviously 50 is bad, right?
50's that's getting pretty low. That's not the lowest that I've personally ever had, but it's definitely one of those situations where you need to get glucose tablets, which actually I have some right here.
Mm-hmm.
These are kind of like sugar tablets. They're almost like giant Smarties, except not as tasty.
Okay.
So I always carry these. And I also, in my purse, because they're really small and convenient, it's just like a little box of raisins.
Nice.
And I've known among my friends, like if I'm out in a bar and a low blood sugar happens, I'll toss these back like a shot.
Nice.
And then it's just so quick and easy. But yeah. Is this a bad one?
That one's actually fantastic.
Later?
Pick a second one, and then we'll have the audience choose which one they think we should do.
Okay.
Yeah. So she picked the Pikesville Rye. The only reason I'm even hesitant about that is I just did a video on it, like really recently.
Okay.
And so it.
Well, this one's a crazy bottle.
Okay. So she picked the Willet Pot Still as well. All right. So in the chat, the let's say the first 5 answers, whatever the ratio is there, we'll drink that one. So either Pikes.
Oh boy.
Looks like Willet. All right. Let's go with the Willet. Cool. So let's stick that one back over there. Yep. And then, so this is Willet Pot Still. This is a bourbon. They don't do too many different types of whiskeys, like as far as different expressions. This is kind of their thing. But you're right. The bottle is very cool.
It's so fun.
So it's shaped like a pot still, which is kind of how you make whiskey.
Oh.
So that's...
I was going to ask if there was a reason why it was shaped like that.
Funny thing is, and I'm looking around, so there's a few bottles there, and actually if you look like this one right here, a lot of them have kind of a, the McClellans, this guy right here. So a lot of them will have this little bit at the top, and that's an easy shape to make when you're doing glass blowing, but it's supposed to be reminiscent of a pot still. If you look, it's kind of, like this, but you'll see that on a lot of bottles. Actually, if you look around, you'll see that on a lot of the bottles as well.
Okay.
She's a good picker, curious about the Willet. Yes, she's gotten lucky. Actually,
I guess so.
Well, so part of the good thing is you got a stacked deck over there too, because most of that stuff is really good.
I was gonna say I wouldn't expect anything less. I mean,
well, I will say for those of you watching, I hid the Johnnie Walker Red because I did not want that one to get picked. But
is that like the fanciest of the Johnnie Walker?
That is the crappiest of the.
Oh, the
Johnnie Walker.
crappiest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
see, I don't know.
So Molly yesterday for Halloween. No, 2 days ago. 2 days ago.
Oh no,
Halloween.
I'm not embarrassed.
No, okay. So Molly had the best costume ever, and actually, Molly,
I won the costume contest at work, which was very exciting.
Yes, and she deserved it. And I'm going to put a picture of this up here because now she's agreed to let me embarrass her. So, all right. So that's Molly dressed up as Dwight from The Office,
yes.
And I have to say that she did a fantastic job. Oh, it's so good.
Most of our coworkers 2 days ago were very shocked, and they did not think it was me.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, going to the ladies' room was kind of funny because I scared many of my fellow coworkers.
You know what just occurred to me? Your mom who's probably still watching,
Yeah.
hears lots of stories about me, I'm sure, from work.
Yes.
And probably is not at all reflective of what you tell her on this stream, because I'm being very nice to you.
Yeah.
Everything she tells you is a lie, by the way.
The running joke is that Bill is just mean to me constantly, which is sort of true.
Yeah, no, never. Not at all.
I mean, I guess it keeps work interesting, but this is refreshing right now,
Yeah,
honestly.
So this is very typical. Everything she says is a lie. So,
Okay.
do you want to pick another whiskey?
Sure.
All right, pick something from closer to the back. Okay, so she has picked the Ardbeg Corey Reckon, which is my favorite Ardbeg. So you picked the right one.
Identity theft is not a joke.
Yeah. Go ahead and give this a smell, but keep your nose a little further away. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is gonna be intense.
Oh boy.
So.
Oh my gosh. He wasn't kidding. I'm just reminded of a campfire. Honestly.
Yep.
And bacon.
Bacon.
Is that crazy?
It's never bacon. Anytime bacon shows up.
I know it's not a bad thing, but
I have seen people pick bacon out of whiskeys before.
wow. Yeah, it's. I don't know how this is gonna go down, but
It's gonna taste better than it smells.
Okay.
From your point of view, for me, it smells delicious.
Will it taste better than bacon?
No. Well, so Go Habs. There's a thing I do occasionally on this channel where I will put on the power glove, because that's a thing that
I've seen this.
randomly happened one time, and because I knew Go Habs would show up, I decided to bring it up. So I will. Actually, Molly, would you like to wear the power glove?
What does it do?
Nothing. You just wear it.
It's just...
It's just an accessory for drinking.
Oh, I like accessories.
Yes, I figured that you would. So, Molly's gonna wear the power glove.
It does nothing.
No,
You
it does
just
nothing.
Have it. Okay. That's really sad.
All it does is make it hard to hold a whiskey glass.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
So, Go Habs. I'm holding you accountable. You need to go click that link and donate something for Molly wearing the power gloves.
Please.
Yes.
So, do I have to pick it up using?
You
I
can.
will spill this all over the place. I'm just gonna
Try
do.
it. Yeah, there you go. You can get away
I'm
with
just
that.
gonna wedge it into this. Yeah, there we go.
If I did the two-hand dainty drink, I would. Wow, look at you, kicking it back. I love it. Very good.
That was tasty.
So it looks like we actually got another donation. A couple of them. Excellent.
I feel like Thanos.
Ooh, 3 of them. Thanos.
Thanos.
Ooh. Brian. Oh, your dad. Thank you very much, Molly's
Thanks, Dad.
Awesome. And then Art Montez. Actually, thank you very much as well. Oh my goodness,
Thank you.
3 of them in a row. Eric Cannon. Thank you guys all. And for those of you that I haven't read off your names, I apologize. But thank you everybody who's donated. So
I appreciate it.
That actually kicked us up quite a bit. So we're going to be. Yeah, so that was great. There were three really big donations in a row. So based on the 110, I believe you said was on the super chat, plus we're now at 774. So I'm probably, what is that, about 120, 130 away from the Johnnie Walker Red. And by the way, it will be a significant pour, and I'll kick it back. I'll take it like a man. It'll be fine. But
and I'll point and laugh wearing the power glove.
and I will what's the word, retch in the corner.
Let's avoid that tonight.
Yeah. So Gohab says the glove has never looked better. So
it just needs some like.
Molly does bring up the collective attractiveness of this.
It needs rhinestones.
Oh Jesus!
Can I take it off?
Sure. Actually, you can take it off. That's fine.
Okay.
I was just
like,
thinking,
wait, what?
No, so I have the Lefroy quarter cask, which my first thought was the Lefroy 10, which would have been a better choice than this, I think, but quarter cask is sweeter than this is. So. One track mind on.
I do like this comment. Enjoying life despite her health issues. Mm-hmm. Amen to that, because
absolutely
you just can't. You don't let diabetes stop you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of Beyond Type 1's mottos per se is live beyond.
Nice.
So live beyond diabetes.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why the Beyond Type 1.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I like
That's where the name comes from.
See, I didn't know that. So to add a little behind the scenes here. So basically, when I went to Molly, I said, I want to do a charity stream, but I have no idea which charity is a good one for diabetes. There's a couple of couple of them.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, but there's a couple of big. What's the other big one? Type 1 or something like that. Beyond.
There's
Beyond
Juvenile
Type 1.
Diabetes Research Foundation and American Diabetes Association are two of the big ones. Yeah.
American Diabetes Association. So that's the other one I was considering. But Molly suggested Beyond Type 1, and after I looked into it, they seemed more grounded, a little bit more like they're actually helping, versus like I think the American Diabetes Association probably is funding more research, but Beyond Type 1 seems to care more about the people. So at least that was my impression.
Advocacy is definitely like their number one thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
It's definitely a more subtle smokiness.
Mm-hmm. I think you're going to probably get the smoke a little bit more when you taste it than you did in the last one.
Okay. Which might be a good or a bad thing.
We'll see.
I don't know.
It all depends. Yeah. All right. So currently enjoying a lovely glass of Green Spot to join you guys. I had Green Spot, 3 days ago. It was very good. I had green and then yellow. It was delicious. And Molly, love your spirit and positive mindset, inspiring and awesome to hear. Cheers.
Thank you.
So, cheers to you, Ronnie. Come on in. So some people are starting to show up. Awesome. Yo.
Can I taste it?
Oh yeah, by all means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So much different though, huh?
It's much different.
Yeah, the other one
was a
was
lot more mild in a way.
So I want to think that our Big Ten was kind of what put them on the map. It was to compete with the other smoky whiskeys, right? So this is virtually smoke. Like that's pretty much all you're getting on the flavor. If you really dig, you can get a little bit more out of it, but basically that's what this is meant to be. It's kind of an answer to Lefroy 10 in my mind, although I'm not totally sure which one came out first, so maybe it's the other way around. Either way, this one I match up with Lefroy 10. But Molly has a blog called Hugging the Cactus, and it's about type 1 diabetes and kind of, it's her like day-to-day kind of either memories or thoughts or events that have happened that are all related to type 1 diabetes. Is that pretty much? Pretty much,
that sums it up. Should I say the story really quickly of how it got its name?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So about a year and a half ago, I was at a really fancy restaurant in Virginia, and I got up to go use the ladies' room. And on my way back to my table, I was stopped by a waiter, and he was like, "What's that on your arm?" And I was like, oh, like in the back of my mind, I was like, that's kind of bold of you to ask.
Yeah, right.
But I also don't mind because I'm all about spreading awareness. So I was actually wearing this continuous glucose monitor right here. And I was also wearing my insulin pump, which is called an Omnipod, right here. So both devices were fully visible. So I explained to him what they were. And he was like, oh, wow, type 1 diabetes. Like, I have family who has that, good for you for having such a great attitude. It's really like... It's like you're hugging the cactus, taking something good out of something bad.
He really said that?
He said that. Yeah. And it stuck to me, and I'm just like, hugging the cactus, that's perfect because,
Yeah, totally.
Hugging and like all the pricks associated with diabetes, that kind of thing. So it just made sense. So
Nice.
That's how the blog got its name.
Actually, Jean, would you like to have some of this too? Come on. Yeah, come on on. So here is a glass. So everybody, this is Jean. Jean also works.
Hi, everybody.
Jean also works with me. Yep, perfect.
Yep.
And we'll scooch over. Just right in the center.
Right in the middle.
Yep.
Righty.
Perfect.
You're the star now.
So Jean's going to join us for some Bowmore 15. Awesome. Ladies first. Small pours.
See how my blood sugar's doing.
You can have a better pour.
Oh, it's not too bad. I need a little bit of extra insulin right now, though.
Oh yeah. So what would cause that?
So right now my blood sugar's trending a little bit high. I mean, they definitely can't see this, but this display right here is telling me that I'm 221 with a diagonal arrow that's going up. So that just means that I'm rising a little bit slowly, nothing too crazy. Again, I think that's only because I overcompensated and ate a little too much before coming over here.
Okay.
Just because I did not want my blood sugar to go low, because that would have been worse.
So does that mean that we need to give you more or less alcohol?
We can keep going.
Awesome.
Because luckily,
sounds like more.
Whiskey has no carbs, so
that's true.
not,
Yes,
it's
that's
not a
right.
concern right now. I just need to give myself a little bit of insulin, but first.
All right. So to Jean, thanks for stopping by. I'll introduce you guys all to Jean in a couple minutes here. So,
cheers.
Cheers. Forget I'm with people who don't drink whiskey all the time. I always cheers and then I smell it and then I drink it.
Well, I
These are all good.
drink it, but probably not like you do.
Most don't. All of them do, but most normal people don't.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, can I answer that question?
That's good.
Someone asked
Yeah.
Molly, does the whiskey ever raise your blood sugar? And honestly, not that I know.
Yeah.
I mean, whiskey has no carbohydrate content to begin with. So unless I'm mixing it with something that does have sugar in it, then it's not. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why whiskey is okay in my book.
So people are pointing out, they say that I have just a stack of shirts.
As people walk in.
And you're about to see 2 more of them in a couple minutes here.
Nice.
So a little while ago, we went to a whiskey tasting. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
So that's Dave. Dave's a big guy. He's awesome. Dave looks a lot like me with more beard. Grab a glass off back there. Just grab any Glencairn. Not the one of those. Grab one of the Glencairns. I'll pour you some of this as well. Anyway, so we went to a whiskey tasting, what was it, February? Yeah.
Something like that,
and,
yeah. February, March.
Basically, I wanted to roll up with an entourage. So I bought like 7 people shirts, and we all just kind of showed up, and just, it was kind of fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
They all just kind of
great.
followed me around, and people were like, "Whiskey dick, what's it?" Which
Oh,
is a
that's
hilarious
cool.
thing. You know, you
Branch out and spread the word. It was good.
exactly.
Yeah.
You kind of take yourself out of it, and you think to yourself like, I literally have the word whiskey dick on my shirt. But then you don't think about it after a little while, and it's...
Got a lot of people asking questions.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
You know, I thought about it most of the time, and it doesn't get old. It's fun.
It doesn't get old.
No, it's good.
So I've got some cool stuff in store for you guys, and once Christina shows up, we'll kind of move into the other room. I've got some expensive stuff for you guys, because I thought that would be a fun way to end the night. Less so for me, because my taste buds are shot at this point. Molly's probably getting there, because we just drank some
I
art
think
bags,
that
couple of
was
them.
number 5. Yeah.
You've had 5 already? That means I've had like 8.
So that's the- wait, this one, Bill, is the Bowmore?
Yes,
Is that what it
the
is?
Bowmore
All right.
15. So this is a sherried, kind of like a little bit of peat in there too.
And this is a single malt Scotch. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
I'm not generally much of a Scotch drinker, I'll have to say, but this is good.
A lot of people.
This is very good. I generally stick to like the bourbon or the rye, but
That's right. Yeah, a lot of people when they tell me that they're not a something drinker, just means that they haven't had something expensive enough yet. So
I was gonna say,
I mean,
like,
that's true.
I know.
At
I know it
least in
seems a
my
little
case.
shallow, but like for example, I have a lot of people on the channel. They say like, especially on the Johnnie Walker Red video, right? They tell me Johnnie Walker Red is great. You're a piece of crap for saying it's trash. And then I'm like, have you ever had anything better? And usually,
Going off. Yeah, I get fun sounds sometimes when my blood sugar is reading a little bit high, but it's the same reading as before, so no worries. We're
so
good.
do you have like a slide whistle for when it's down?
No, but you can.
800 even,
Woo.
and then we've got another 110 in super chats.
Remember,
Nice.
Johnnie Walker Red, he has to drink it.
Yep. So at 1,000, I'm gonna drink some Johnnie Walker Red, and
for
like
you.
like a good
See,
amount.
they
of it.
know.
So
All right.
we're actually like very close enough. So it's about $90 more, and you guys get to see a shit show. So
It's looking like we're going to hit that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we are.
How long are we on for now?
Another hour.
Another hour? Oh,
Yeah.
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 Oh man.
So
We can get there. We can get there.
very true. Did not. This is Christina. This is gonna be real silly for us, but sorry. All right, so this is Christina. All of these people have worked with me at some point or another. Most of them work still with me. Christina left us recently, which is very unfortunate.
Again.
'cause-
Boo.
Yeah, boo, yeah, we all booed her. That's
I
what that
can't
silent
answer
boo
the
was.
Phones all the time.
That's okay. So anyway, she moved on to greener pastures. This is Gene. He's a software engineer. And Molly, she's a editorial. She's a writer. And those of you that have been watching know that she has a blog called Hugging the Cactus, which is kind of a big part of what we're doing tonight, raising money for charity for type 1 diabetes.
So if there are any more questions about diabetes, feel free to ask them.
Absolutely. And if you are interested in donating to type 1 diabetes charity, check the description in the video. It'll be right at the top there, and go through there. If you do super chat, I'll donate whatever goes from the super chat to the charity, but it does take like 30% for YouTube, so it's better to use the link. This is Dave. He's QA for our software, so he likes to tell us that we suck. And often he's got evidence, usually hard evidence. So, and then you all know me. So what I wanted to do is start everybody here with the best whiskey I have in my collection. So this is a 35-year-old Old Pulteney 1983 vintage. I got this for my birthday this year from one of the viewers out there. And I have been not finishing it specifically because I've actually been waiting for you guys to come over, believe it or not. Not just for this one event, but more just to come over. And I wanted you all to have this. So I'm
You
gonna.
said it was $600.
It's about $600, yeah. So I think $580 was the last time I checked. So, plus shipping. Anyway, so I'm gonna kind of shut up and just pour you all a drink. I want you to take a minute to smell it. This is, I believe it's 46%, which is 92 proof. So there might be a little bit of a burn, but I don't recall there being much of one. We're going to just talk about what it smells like, and then we'll all taste it, and then we'll talk about how awesome it is, and then we'll go from there. So not to make... Cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
And cheers to all of you.
Cheers to you.
So... You will not need it for this one, but after we drink this, I'm going to go get the... I have a little dropper of water, which will help bring out some more stuff. The nose on this... What?
Totally broke.
I'm tired.
That's okay. Molly's fired.
The sniffing.
I couldn't help it. I tasted it too. So.
Did you really?
Okay, so she did too.
I did.
Oh. The nose feels light. Either
Yes.
that or my nose is stuffed.
It is very light.
Okay.
So it's almost not. The nose isn't what I would expect. That was one of the things I noticed first out of this. I was expecting glorious, nose from something that's this old, and luckily the flavor kind of backs it up. So, does anybody pick up anything in particular when they smell it, though?
Whiskey.
It does in fact smell like whiskey. Wow.
Wow.
To my exceedingly refined smell, it smells
Yes.
good.
It smells good. So I would say this smells like there's a little bit of apple in there, like a green apple.
I was going to say there was some sweetness in this one too that I picked up on.
There's lemon. So a lot of we would typically say light fruits, right, or citrus.
Sure.
So you got apple, lemon. There's not a ton more going on in there, at least not for me. I'm sure I got more when I did my formal review, but I also wasn't 8 grams deep. So anyway, I'm surprised I can talk. All right, so go ahead and have a small sip and give it time to stay in your mouth for a minute and then swallow it.
It is strong. It's a good one.
I was going to
That's
say
okay.
the smooth thing again.
It's very
Honestly.
smooth.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
That's okay. Love the videos. Just wish I knew how to drink without passing out every time.
I mean, you and me both, bud.
Yeah, Dave has become my protege, and I've often been surprised at how quickly he's going
Dave.
through the bottles. So, but it's good because I actually I've had Dave try bottles that I've not reviewed yet on the channel. So it's you got the Lefroy 10 right now, right? I believe.
I had it, yeah.
Yeah, you had it. What
Past tense.
what,
That was Tuesday. So.
what did I have you get last time?
You had me get the Napalog Castle.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty recent. And
Yeah.
then I also picked up that...
Nika Coffee Grain.
well, yeah, that was
Yeah.
before that. And then I picked up the new Game of Thrones Johnnie Walker.
That's
the
right.
White Walker.
Yeah, yeah. So I do have that as well. Actually, it's in the freezer right now.
How
so.
does that compare? Have you tasted that one yet?
It's better than the red. It's right on par with the black, but it's different. That's probably the best way to put it.
I agree with you, though. It's definitely better chilled.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. for sure.
Dwight
It's rare you see
Schrute
women who love whiskey.
rules.
It's rare that you see women who love whiskey dick. Yes, no, it's not a common.
It just clicked.
So, some of them might like the excuse, I suppose. But
There you go.
all right, actually, so you guys are obviously not. You haven't had as much whiskey as I have, and very few people have. So, but what is your favorite whiskey? Like, what would you go out and buy if you had a couple $100? Just like you could buy anything that was reasonable. Any thoughts?
Well, one of the many whiskeys that you've introduced me to was Kilhoman. And that's still to this day my favorite.
Very
I
good.
absolutely love the flavor of that.
You just made some fans.
Great.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't think you bought too much, right?
I haven't, but I'm a big fan of Napog Castle. I've had a couple different from them, and smooth.
Nice.
For sure.
Smooth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just making my grandpa proud right now.
Nice. Yeah, they They're fairly new. I'm very excited to review the 12, which is what I have out there. But they also sent me nips of the 14 and the 16, and those I've heard nothing but great things about. So I'm actually
I think I've had the 12, but not the other two.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How about you, Gene? I know you're more of a bourbon guy.
Yeah, so I'm definitely more of a bourbon guy. I'm also pretty much a cheap date. I mean, like the thing that I drink the most of is probably right now I really like the Jim Beam Black as far as like just a nice, good, affordable, easy drinking bourbon.
Actually makes a really good Manhattan. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely. I mean, I just drink it neat.
Of course. Manhattan's a lot of work.
Yeah. You gotta put that cherry
gotta,
in there,
pour shit and shit.
vermouth and stuff. It's just come
Too
on. I gotta get the
fancy.
special glass. I'm a big fan of the Bookers. Obviously, some are better than others. Last year's, I think it was the 02, was just exceptional. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. My brother and I polished that off in a lot less time than probably we should have taken it for. But anyway, that's what I go for. More like I like Maker's Mark. I do like the rye and the higher rye bourbons. Those ones are good, a little spicy. Which actually I feel like this one has a little bit of that like to start, but it finishes much smoother than
The
that.
spice?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Kind of some of the spice, the
Yeah.
bite that I would get from like a rye, but it definitely has a much smoother finish.
You know, it's funny you say that. I only, like, almost as you were saying it, I just was like, there's a little bit of spice on my tongue there, too, which I was surprised because, I mean, I doubt this has any rye in the mash bill, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get spice from the barrel, or at least that kind of a flavor. So, how about you, Christina?
I really haven't tried that much whiskey to have like an opinion about it at this point.
Do you like a specific kind? Like, do you like bourbons or do you like scotches? Do you like brown ones or do you like light ones?
Light ones.
All right, so you like
Light
scotches.
All right.
Although the
Yeah.
one that I liked was when we went to, is it Julio's or
Yes,
Julio's?
Julio's.
Oh, it is Julius.
It's Julius.
I always
I want to say
No,
Julio's.
I feel like people make that joke, and then other people think that's actually how it's supposed to be said.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm somewhat friends with the owner, and I've talked to him. He says Julio, so I'm good.
Julios.
I'm gonna take it from him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go with
that's
him. It's a good
probably a
idea.
safe bet.
But when we went to Julio's and we had that cinnamon one with like dancing leprechaun.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Flaming Leprechaun.
Yep.
I love flaming
That
leprechaun.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're going to be super happy to hear that because actually they end up they follow me on Instagram. They usually keep up with this. It's very likely that they will see the stream.
Yeah.
So they'll be very
we've
happy
got
to
a
hear
bottle
that.
at home, and that stuff is great.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You have the cinnamon flaming leprechaun?
I believe we do.
That's awesome.
It's very good.
Yeah,
Actually, I remember that from that one too, and I usually don't go for that flavored stuff, but that was
It was really
it was
that
very
was
good.
really good because it wasn't like that overt like sweet taste that you
Yeah.
get from some of those flavored ones. That it really tasted like
Yeah.
like a cinnamon whiskey and not like those what are they, those
Red Hots.
Fireball red
Yeah.
hot
Yeah,
the
yeah.
candy. It didn't
Yeah.
taste like that. Like it was good.
yeah, no.
You're definitely like proving that point that like when someone says they don't drink something they haven't tried something because that was really good.
Yeah, you
And I
can
don't
tell.
like I don't like Scotch, right? Because I haven't tried the good enough stuff. But it's surprising because like the Johnnie Walker Blue, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So and that one was pretty good.
All right, so this is the Glenmorangie Signet, which is literally the coolest box I've ever
I was gonna
seen.
say that is
Or-
a nice looking
Fancy.
box.
So it gets better. So once you open it, so it's got like a magnetic thing here. So once you open this, you've got the bottle, which there's not that much left.
Built-in
We might
shadow box.
polish this off tonight, even if it's after the stream is over. We'll see. So the Glenmorangie Signet is about a $200 bottle. They make it for about a week at Glenmorangie. They shut down all other production, and they I'll spare you a lot of the details, but basically they do things completely differently just for this one bottle, 1 week every year. This is metal, which is really cool.
That is
And this thing weighs
one
about
of the
this thing weighs
coolest
about a
bottles
pound
I've
and a
ever
half.
seen.
Wow. Yeah, I did not expect that at all.
And I always thought that was very cool. 'Cause it's like you could kill somebody with that thing.
Seriously.
So let me see your glass
that's
for a
good.
second.
Oh my god.
You're like cork, that
impressive.
doesn't weigh
Missing
much.
like a lug nut. I'm
You're right. It's kind of like a lug nut.
It is.
Thanks.
oh,
Here, please. All right, that works. Was that just water?
yeah.
It's definitely one of the cooler bottles.
Yes. This,
Yeah, I love the
That's
gradient
like-
from black
Yeah,
to clear.
yeah, that's it's
So-
with the color down there. It's perfect.
There's another bottle I put up there. It's not a very expensive whiskey, but I put it up there. Actually, I'm glad you said the gradient because I wanted to compare it. It's called New Riff, and it's a fairly new whiskey. And I think I'm actually gonna polish this off. Let's see.
Hooray!
Hey,
All right.
Oh, just a little hate.
well done.
Just a little bit more. Actually, I gotta say, for as much as I've had, I don't feel drunk at all. So
Famous last words.
yeah.
I know.
Moving on.
You will
Let's
be.
see what happens in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, until we all get up.
I know.
You will.
When it hits you, the meme.
will be.
So go ahead and smell that while I'm grabbing the other bottle for a sec because I want to show it off.
Caramel, that's the one that keeps coming back to it.
Signet is kind of boring on the nose, very sweet though. Yep. I would agree. I like the nose on this overall, but there's not a whole lot to pick out.
Yeah,
with
it's not unpleasant.
Yeah.
You kind of nailed it with the caramel. That's a big part of it. So, although they call it coffee grain, which that's one of the details I was going to leave out, it doesn't smell like coffee at all. What it does smell like is chocolate, a little tiny bit, and you'll taste that a little bit more than you'll smell it. So go ahead and have a taste. Might take a little water to get the chocolate out of there if
There's
you're not
a
getting it.
burn on that one.
There's a little bit, but actually, I'm wondering if you're gonna say what I'm thinking right now.
Now I can taste
It's on the
coffee.
finish. There's a very particular flavor,
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
and you and I would be very familiar with this flavor.
I don't know about the finish, but I can definitely taste the chocolate when I drink it.
Do you taste coffee at all? Because like
Yes. Yeah.
afterwards,
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, but- yeah,
absolutely,
That's what I thought I
Yeah.
was picking up a little bit
yeah,
of it.
it tastes like
A little
black
bit of it.
coffee, like towards the very end.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Just kind of in the back of your tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so it looks like what was it? DH Sylv 2 is having Signet with us, which I'm impressed that you even have a bottle hanging around. Good for you. So powdered sugar, caramel, and a touch of toasted malt. So the toasted malt, that's the coffee that you guys are tasting.
Okay.
And then a little bit of the chocolate can come from that as well. And that's kind of the idea. Is they so this particular thing when they shut, people asked if whiskey is gluten-free. I just said yes. I just kind of wanted to get to this list because people had asked. So.
Yeah.
So people asked if whiskey is gluten-free. First off, the answer is yes. According to the National Institute of Health Celiac Disease Awareness, which I did have to look this up earlier today.
And did you know many people with type 1 diabetes also have celiac?
Really?
Yes.
That makes sense, but I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Huh.
Fun.
Fun. Yeah.
Fun.
So much fun.
Question mark? Fun facts? I don't know.
So distilled alcohol is inherently gluten-free, and distilling it will remove any gluten proteins. So it basically has to be gluten-free. That's what I did for a living. I already kind of talked about that. And this one I thought was interesting. So they asked if I could drink with anybody from history, who would it be?
Ooh.
And I'm going to kind of go the nerd answer here, which is a little predictable, but I'm going to go Nikola Tesla. And the main reason, other than the fact that he's just kind of a genius and kind of a weird guy, is that he drank whiskey every single day because he was convinced it would make him live to 150.
Wow.
So I'm...
Well, he's a smart man.
Yeah. Well, he kind of, I think he chewed on a cyanide tablet. So
What about a fictional person? Is there one that you'd want to drink with?
Oh.
That's a good question.
That's probably a
That's
more
a harder
challenging
question.
question.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Interesting.
Because,
Danny.
yeah.
Mother of dragons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to drink whiskey and pet a dragon. So,
Cool.
I'm surprised you didn't say Tyrion Lannister.
yeah, it's too obvious.
He drinks
Yeah.
and he knows
That's
things.
exactly it.
But see, I already
the
drink and know
little one.
things, so he doesn't. Yeah. Is about $180 for a normal size bottle. This is a tiny bottle, obviously. Came in a collection of 4 different types. It was black, gold, platinum, and blue. And that
That's
was
the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. That's about $80. So
Blue is the sort of highest
yes.
of the.
So there's a couple of other ones that they do above the blue, but they're more alterations to the blue.
Okay.
The thing with blue is that it will actually, like if you had a blue 10 years ago, it would probably taste different than this, even if it was a brand new bottle. They go for a specific flavor profile, which they might change, but all of the blues of that year or that time frame would be similar. So,
But they're all single malts, single batch.
this is a blend,
It's a
actually.
blend,
Yep.
okay.
So this is comprised of, actually with the blue, they don't tell you because not because it's a secret necessarily, but more because once again they're going for a very specific flavor. So they'll go through all of their stuff and they'll find something that makes that flavor. So, all right. So go ahead and smell this one or nose it.
Oh, that's even more.
Oh, that's funny,
subtle.
Donner Pass. What? That's worse?
Even more subtle.
Oh, more subtle.
Compared to the last one, that's worse. No.
No, I thought I heard worse too.
No.
It is subtle, but I'm picking up more nose on this
Yeah.
one.
Really?
It's got more flavors. I can't make them out. Where the other one, all I could smell was caramel. Yeah, it just hit me.
Yeah.
This one.
So DH, we'll do that one next.
A buddy of mine,
So
probably
go get it.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago, got a big bottle of this for his birthday. So I've been exposed to this once before.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had the blue before. That was a New Year's toast.
Okay.
But
So,
as
have either one
most
of
of
you
these
tried?
people would be appalled, we literally like
Shot it.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
I have a feeling that
Indeed.
there's been a lot of blue shot in some way, shape, or form. You know, people that just buy it because it's the expensive one.
Luxury shots.
Yeah. Now the
Right.
funny thing is that the reason everybody knows blue, like, so Johnnie Walker is the most popular whiskey in the world, right? It's the
Makes
or at least
sense.
the most diversely distributed. And so obviously, if you know about a whiskey, you might be interested in what the best version of that whiskey is. So then people find out about the blue, and their marketing is freaking awesome, right? So, anyway, that's why everybody knows Johnnie Walker Blue. It doesn't mean, like, I mean, we've had 2 whiskeys already of the 3 that we've tried that are more expensive than this, and you've probably never heard of either one of those, you know? So
sure.
Johnnie Walker has a wide range of prices for their whiskey.
Yes.
They go from like, bottom tailed all the way to blue. So
exactly, yeah. All right, so anything coming off the nose for you guys? I know that at this point we've had enough whiskey that it probably would be a little hard to pick stuff out.
Is citrus kind of a stretch?
Nope, not at all.
No.
Nope, that's pretty much on the nose.
Just have a little bit of
Yeah.
little sourness to it. It's not as sweet, not as caramel smelling.
Definitely
I
not
feel
as
like it's the
sweet.
last one. Yeah.
Yep. You probably won't get any caramel in
Little
this.
spicy. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, the sour comes.
Yeah, a little more sour, maybe like a like you said, like a citrus, but
Citrus.
more like a lemon or a grapefruit than a
Excellent.
than
Yeah.
an orange.
Citrus is going to be one of the forefront pieces of this. So you guys pretty much all nailed it. That's great. All right, go ahead and have a sip. Cheers.
Oh, that's nice.
That's a very, very smooth.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
way smoother than I
way
expected.
Not even a little bit of a burn, honestly.
Opinion?
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm just tasting it. It's,
Well, no,
it's-
I was curious because you guys all
Enjoying it.
jumped on there, and he looked like he was really thinking about it. So
I like the.
Well, I was
finish,
trying
actually.
to say something other than smooth. But I mean, that's what kind of hit me, right? It was just that it just, like they all said, it's like drinking apple juice. You just it just goes
Which is a
down. I mean,
problem.
that's,
And not a
I
problem.
know,
is
that could be a problem.
it's very easy to go back.
yes, this is definitely a whiskey that could get you in trouble for sure.
Right.
So here's the question: do you pick out any flavors? It's an obvious question, but there's a reason I'm asking.
Dancing again. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, no, I'm lower than I was before, so I'm fine.
Okay, good.
Going down.
Yeah, update.
What
Blood
do you
sugar
got?
is 203.
Oh,
I don't think I talked about the ideal range earlier, but ideally for me personally, it varies for everyone, but I like to be between 80 and 180.
Okay.
So
and you're
I'm just above.
You're at like
203.
Okay.
Which is fine. Honestly, if I'm drinking alcohol, I'd like to be a little higher than normal because a lot of the times alcohol can bring my blood sugar down, but many hours after the fact.
Okay.
So, another little fun fact.
So, anybody getting any flavors whatsoever on this?
It's, I'm really not.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Almost another licorice kind of flavor, but I don't know if that's a stretch.
So, basically, what you guys are all saying, although Molly, you're not. I could see that. I think what that is the alcohol actually drying in your mouth. Believe it or not. So, what you all said is perfect because basically there's nothing to this, and that's part of what makes this appealing. It's got a nose that's pleasant. It's got a taste that's pleasant, but there's nothing distinctive about it, right?
Right. There's nothing that stands out. It's very
Exactly.
like.
So you guys actually,
Again, I can feel
very
my tongue is
drinkable.
a little bit numb, so I know I'm not
Yeah.
picking up on everything, but it's
Yeah.
definitely like it's very smooth.
so you guys
very
basically
easy
all
drink.
nailed it. I'm
Not
actually
surprising.
very impressed. So very well
This is
done.
very drinkable.
Yeah.
We're so close, everyone.
So close,
So,
guys. We've got.
We're about, so if we get another $50, I'll call it even. But we're pretty close, and we've got 10 minutes to do it. So if you haven't donated yet and you're curious to, or if you're interested in helping out, this all goes to charity. And what am I doing here? Clicking like 20 things. Don't mean to be. There we go. So if you're interested in donating, check out the link in the description below. You'll also find links to other people who have helped. Whoever donates the most, which at the moment there's a 3-way tie, so I'm going to have to pick something random unless somebody makes a big donation. So it looks like the number to beat, I believe, is $51. So if you donate $52, you're going to get yourself an advent calendar. Assuming
That was
Good job, Dustin.
nice.
all right,
Nice.
that's the number to beat. That actually might be the highest super chat I've ever
Thank
gotten
you,
on the channel.
Dustin.
Actually, thank you, Dustin. All right, so these people want to see me drink Johnnie Walker Red.
I know, going from blue to red.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's gonna be sad.
That sucks.
Is there a whiskey worse than Johnnie Walker Red? Maybe we can get $100.
Not that I have. So
But what would you say off the top of your head? What's worse than that?
Black Velvet.
Black
Black
Velvet.
Velvet.
Never had
So
it.
the original Black Velvet. I would say it's very close, but I would say Black Velvet, then Johnnie Walker Red, and then Black Velvet Reserve or Select or whatever the hell it's called. It's hilarious because this Black Velvet, the other one, it ages for an extra 3 years, and it's $2 more. It's just there's no way that makes sense. and we're talking $11 and $13.
So my brother was on, he was helping his ex-girlfriend at the time do her graduate study in Cameroon, and he found, basically on the side of the road when waiting for a bus, a guy was selling a whiskey called Johnnie Walter. And it was essentially a 50 milliliter ketchup packet that was white and clear with a whiskey in it that was called Johnnie Walter. And it had a picture that kind of looked like the Beefeater Scotch guy, but without the headdress. And he was African. So it was clearly like your, I don't know, knockoff thing. And it cost, I think one of these things cost about the equivalent of like 50-60 cents US, so it was pretty good. And he managed to get a couple of these back, and we did one last this was like a decade ago, and we did one night just for a laugh. And I mean, like, I would take the Johnnie Walker Red 10 times out of 10 over this. It was
Johnnie Walker
I've never
Red,
drank
Johnnie Walter.
turpentine, but it was probably close. It was color. It was the color of whiskey. It was a dark caramel. It's the only resemblance
things
to
with the
whiskey
color of
that it
whiskey.
was
Yeah.
that and the obvious knockoff name. But
I'm so intrigued.
That's
wanna
right.
buy it.
I
I wish he had bought more. He may actually have one left that he just like kept.
Just
It
kept,
was-
yeah.
It was amazing, and just
You
what
couldn't
what
pay me to drink
what was the best
Oh,
was the
man.
ketchup packet.
Sorry, Molly's mom is egging me on to drink the red. I'm gonna use my totally standard size Glenmorangie glass
And fill it all the way to the top.
and
Just drink from the bottle.
go Molly's
Go
mom.
Molly.
All right. So I'm like I said, I'm gonna do my part.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm not happy about this, but it's all for.
But the rest of us are. So
I
thank
know,
you
you're
again.
making many people
They all have to
happy.
deal with me after the stream goes off, so I don't know if you're still all right.
Is it really that bad?
You sound
go.
curious. You sound
You want to try?
I'll take a good pass on that.
I don't have any Springbank for them. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I had some the other night. I had the Springbank 18. It was actually pretty good. No, it was a huge surprise. All right. So, $100. Would all of you drink the red?
Yes.
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 100%.
Absolutely.
Yep.
How much of the red?
That much.
Just some.
Christina.
All right. So she flung.
For charity.
So hold on. So she flung dung. If you're gonna donate that much money, do it through the link instead, because YouTube will take like $30 of that. So.
But yes, we will all drink it.
OMG, don't do that, Bill.
All right. Well, either way, I will do this, and then if you happen to donate that much money, let me know in the chat, and I will make them do it. And they will willingly do it.
We will
Willingly.
willingly do it.
Absolutely.
100%.
We may regret it, but no, not really.
Wow. Good
I
about
mean,
it.
you guys will be able to laugh at us while we drink it, so win-win.
All right.
You want me to do one with you?
The preparation.
No.
All right.
No.
If they put more money,
If they don't.
we gotta make it worth it. All right.
That's what I was going for.
This is amusing.
Selected marketing.
Yeah. Right. All right. So I already did the link, but I'll do it again. Okay. He's gonna do it. All right. We will pour more if you do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
So-
you.
Refresh
So
it.
he's one of my favorite people, by the way. She flung dung. Yes, I know that's a good name.
It's a good name.
I like it.
See, I for one appreciate that.
All right, so hold on. I feel like I should be a little closer to the.
Oh, the zoom in
Wait, do you
shot.
have to like shoot it back?
I'm gonna shoot it
Oh, yeah.
because the alternative is a mistake.
Much worse.
Oh, you gotta get
The
a little
less
bit
you
more.
can taste it, the better off.
You're in
closer.
chat view.
You're
Hold
in
on.
chat view.
Yeah, you're-
Scooch.
Yeah,
You gotta
there
go on the other
Oh,
side. There you go.
yeah.
Perfect.
And you
Yeah.
block my
What a
face at the
loser.
same time, so it's
no.
a win all around.
Oh,
Oh!
all the English.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Whiskey Dictionary.
Is, who knew? Like they.
What a
Holy crap!
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
You guys are awesome.
That's awesome.
a lot of people. Wow.
This is worth it.
Fantastic.
All right, all of you.
Oh God.
You guys are making Uber a lot of money tonight too, apparently. Because,
I think I'm the most excited for Christina to get this because she's been the most quiet so far.
yeah.
Give me like a small amount.
No
We're
problem.
talking like lightweight, so.
Oops.
Oh, that.
I hear you, lightweight.
Oopsie.
Oh dear.
All right, there you go.
Oh me, oh my.
and just don't
And
do this.
and hold on. Before you guys have any, I'm not gonna make you suffer alone.
Oh, you already
Wow.
suffered.
Going from blue to red, I'm scared.
Well, my
Gotta
only-
savor it, huh?
I'll savor
All
it.
right.
in the man.
Hey, I'll
Thanks, Molly's mom.
I'll savor it.
All right, so well,
We have to do the
man,
nose,
Bill.
right?
yes, let's do the nose.
do
The
the
nose.
Okay.
Oh, that's literal garbage.
I'm picking up a distinct. Is it shoe or boot? I'm not sure.
Gym bag.
Yes.
I'm kidding, guys. I know nothing about whiskey.
All right. Cheers to all of you who donated. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
It's a
Thank
great
you for,
cause.
This is for you.
And
There we go. All right, kick it back.
Oh, regret.
The regret. It tastes like bad decisions.
I
Tastes
regret
like bad
nothing.
decisions and regret.
No. Yeah, I will say the second one is a little easier, but like of
Ugh.
all the stuff I've I've
my
drank
God.
tonight, that made me feel the most instantly
Sad.
like buzzed. You know,
Oh,
like,
God.
like I feel like that's gonna be a problem in like 10 minutes.
But man, there's a
so we'll be on for at least 15 more.
heavy distinction.
I'm glad I like opened my throat like. Ugh.
That's what she said.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey-o!
Jason's question: what's everyone's favorite whiskey of the night?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Molly, why don't we start with you? You've had a lot more than most, or like than everybody else here.
I
Like-
know, and
like
I
a
d-
lot
I don't
more.
Other than
remember-
me, yeah,
I know I've
yeah.
had a lot more. I don't remember what the name was of the first smoky one that I had. The one where I was
Corey
like,
Vrecken.
campfire and bacon.
Yep.
That one.
Campfire
You're-
bacon. Oh,
Cheers to you.
I liked that one
That's
a lot.
That's my favorite art.
and that
like,
surprised
by a
me.
lot. Yeah.
Because I didn't think I would like something smoky. But that was my favorite.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gene?
honestly, probably the blue. I liked the blue a lot, and I liked the one that we did right before that, not the Pulteney, the
Signet.
one. Yeah.
Yep.
That one was good too, but the blue was impressive with its holding up so well without any sort of distinctive flavor
Yeah.
to it. It was
Very
just
easy to drink.
really, really smooth. Yeah, really, really smooth. Like disappointingly, because I know that I would spend way more money than I should actually spend on booze
Yeah.
with that.
What was your favorite?
I mean, I'm going to sound expensive, but it's a $600 bottle for sure.
Yeah,
That was
No,
definitely
that's-
the most
that's fair.
enjoyable to me.
that was all delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christina?
I'm kind of stuck between the blue and even this one because I feel like the more that I drink it,
Yeah.
it's almost like I don't want to say it's sweet, but something else, like another flavor is coming out the more that you sip it. So like the burning in my eyes sensation, I don't feel very much now.
Yeah. Well,
But,
so the
yeah.
thing with bourbon, as I was kind of saying earlier, is that you often get a lot more. I feel like bourbon is an underappreciated whiskey. Everybody thinks single malt Scotch when they think expensive whiskeys, right? But there's so many, especially craft bourbons, that are fantastic. And this one, obviously not a craft thing, but it is made special. Like this is different than the regular maker's mark. I agree with you. This would probably be like my second or third favorite of the night. But actually, before I do that, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I already said
you
earlier
did.
the
Okay.
$600
So you've all
bottle.
gone.
Yeah.
I ran to get the power cord for the laptop.
This one is definitely good. I like it.
I enjoy it.
It's
a lot.
Glenmorangie Signet is always going to be one of my favorites. But tonight specifically, I'm with you on the Private Select. I'd say that was probably number 2. Tonight, for whatever reason, I was feeling the Corey Brecken as well, so I'm with you, Molly. That was probably my favorite of the night. Glenmorangie Signet's usually my favorite, but I was just in PD mood, I guess. So I'm gonna go with the Glenmorangie. Sorry, the Ardbeg Corey Brecken. Boy, freaking Johnnie Walker Red. This is why I don't like you. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.